Welcome, viewer, wherever you are. It is time again to tune into what we call right now the arena of sports, and this is LTN Sports. This is one area that's right now many people really get a lot of insights, a lot of matters in terms of football reviews, news, and every other bit of it. And not only in football, even in other sports. And that is why we say we are an arena of sports. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for following us. Please continue doing that. Share this content on social media and engage us more and more as we go by. Welcome again, and as usual, I have my able pundit here, Lord Vika Duda, who is a former CEO of Football Kenya Federation, former CEO Gor Mahia, and yes, other very important aspects of football. Is the one who actually wears the hat as it is right now. And again today, we know we have a new champion in town, the Kenya Police Football Club. This is the first ever time a team of police outfit is lifting the cup in Kenya. And indeed, they did this on the last day when they took it away from Gor Mahia, who were back-to-back champions in the last previous seasons. And a lot of things must be said about this team. From relegation to championship, this has been one very exemplary season, and here at LTN Sports we say congratulations to the champions, and let's see what next year brings about. Bwana Duda, karibu sana, and as you get into the show, kindly share your insights of the league. How was the league? Police actually at one point was down at the relegation before they got their new tactician. They were struggling so much, but they put up a very good revival plan. They went on to take the league, and it's the first time ever they are doing it. Just what is happening, and that is the shape of the league. Is the league competitive enough? And are we having new champions making the league even more competitive, or is just a fluke?
Thank you very much, Nick.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I think I need to take the opportunity to congratulate Police FC for having emerged the champions of FKF Premier League 2024-2025 season. They did well. I believe it was not, out of fluke. They basically, according to me, deserved what eventually made them to become champions. Now, the fact that at some point they were languishing at the lower echelons of the league table does not really mean that they were a bad team. That is why it is called a league. It is not a dash race like Omanyala's, 100 meters. We find that at the end of the March day 34, that is when we complete the league, and the eventual winners, that it is the club that shall have gained more points at the end of March day 34, which this time round Police did. I believe that 2 or 3 things propelled Police to this achievement. First and foremost, Police had a depth of highly experienced players. A group that has won the league several times with different clubs. We have players like Mwiguna, players like Kahata, players like David Cheche. I mean, we can almost...
The Abu Domars.
The Abu Domars. Basically, 3/4 of that team comprised of seasoned, experienced, current international and former international players. That is one. 2, they had character. As Jose Mourinho at times says, it doesn't matter. You play sexy football, Chelsea will play, get 1 goal. The most important thing is 3 points. Because it is the points that catapult you to the next step with respect to your standings in the league table.
Not the amount of goals scored.
Not the amount of goals scored. Because first and foremost, at the end of the season, what counts are the points. Before, in a situation where probably there is a tie, is when the goals would count. But if there's no tie, then the determination will be based on the points accumulated. 3, I believe that under the able leadership of their chairman, Mr. Nyale Munga, they had also a vibrant and committed board of directors led by, I think, Bishop somebody there, right? So they really knew what they were supposed to be doing. Coupled with that, I believe that there was, the essence of the team discipline. Now, all those factors put together enabled police to emerge the champions this time round. Now, from where I sit, it doesn't mean that the rest of the other clubs really did not have measure up to the standards. Assuming that Gor Mahia, the then defending champions, also lived up to their billing, then police would not have emerged the winners. You find that 2 teams that eventually went in the relegation ended up scoring 6 or 9 points out of Gor Mahia. City Stars, one of the teams relegated, won against Gor Mahia home and away, and Talanta equally won against Gor Mahia. So those are 9 points that Gor Mahia lost to the 2 teams that eventually were relegated. I mean, that tells you that the standards were really not that low, as probably some people would want to, to say. I believe also that at the end of the day, the fact that during the match day 34, we did realize that that is when some of the clubs, I will give an example of Muranga Seals, which until match day 34 was close to relegation.
Was actually at the relegation zone.
It was close to relegation. It was close to relegation until match day 34. Going into match day 34, Muranga Seal was down there, but they only needed 3 points, which catapulted them from that danger zone to finish the league at position 13. The 3 points they got, having won 1-0 against Talanta, made them to jump from 34 to 37 points. So looking at the point distribution, the difference between the points that teams garnered at the end of the league tells you that the league, by our standards, was equally very competitive, right?
Well, now, once again, congratulations, Police FC. That was a good show. Some people sometimes put in some little joke that, Police FC is Gor Mahia B, while there's Gor Mahia A, owing to the fact that most of the players, perhaps, who have done their bit for Police, people who actually were bought from Gor Mahia. And yes, sometimes that could be true, but then it is Police FC anyway. Now,
well, I don't really think that is true, because there is no player that moved directly from Gor Mahia to Police. Those players, former Gor Mahia players, moved from other teams to come and join Police. Mwiguna, for instance, had left Gor Mahia, went and joined Azam, and came back to Police. Francis Kahata had moved from Gor Mahia, went and joined Simba, and came back to Police. I mean, who else is also there?
Mohammed.
Musa Mohammed left Gor Mahia, went to Tirana, came back and joined the police.
Yeah.
Right. So the adage that it is Gor Mahia B is neither here nor there.
No, there. Now, let's look at the prize money for the champions. We really at one point were hard on Nick Mwendo's regime for giving a paltry 5 million for teams that actually have spent nearly 100 million through the league season, and at the end of it, they only go for 5 million shillings. Together with the trophy that was given out, a new trophy again that actually doesn't, our league doesn't have an identity trophy for it that you can say this is now the trophy for Premier League or Kenya Premier League or something like that. But then talk about the 5 million shillings. Is it even enough to start thinking of awarding a team that has played for the last whole season and have really spent a lot of money in terms of travels, in terms of wages, in terms of penalties, medication, every other thing to run the club?
Well, I think there is this misconception about individuals. We have a federation. The federation is there to stay. But after each end of the term, elections are held. Probably different people, get an opportunity to be elected into, the positions of leadership. So the federation is one and the same. It doesn't really matter whether it is Nick Mwenda or myself. For instance, I was the first Secretary General of the Federation. I actually registered FKF. I am no longer there, but FKF is there.
Oh, you're the one registered FKF?
Of course, yes.
Not,
I was.
No,
I was.
KFF.
No, when we finished the elections, prior to finishing the elections in 2011, we had been compelled by FIFA to sign a memorandum, which we did. Then I was the Secretary General of KFF, and Hatmi, the late Hatmi, also had Football Kenya Limited. So we were compelled by FIFA to sign a joint memorandum, undertaking that whoever wins that joint elections that were held in 2011 had to come up with a new federation. So it happened that the side that I was supporting emerged victorious, and we had therefore to come up with a new federation, to register a new federation. So I was the first Secretary General of Football Kenya Federation, and I am the one who registered Football Kenya Federation. So the federation is there. I am no longer the Secretary General. So this inhibition of continuously comparing personalities, I think, is a cake. The federation does not have money, but they ought to look for money. So long as the league does not have a title sponsor, you can never pick any amount, and allocate it as a prize money. So
then where do they get these 5 million shillings?
I believe that probably out of their coffers, because the FIFA forward money, FIFA funds are not meant for the running of the domestic activities or the leagues. So there is no way that
it's only for administration.
There are different vote heads, right? Designated by FIFA when they disburse those amounts. So let nobody be cheated that this amount of money is part of, the $1.2 million that FIFA now disperses to the member associations. So long as the federation does not have a title sponsor for the league, they will continue. To me, I don't really refer to it as a prize money. I think it should be an appreciation.
A token of
sorts.
A token
of sorts, yeah.
Okay. Well, that is much as we speak about Football Kenya Federation, the champions, and the prize monies. Now we want a little bit to change now and talk about what we spoke about sometimes back in this show, about the preparedness of Kenya to host CHAN. Apparently, now we've been given the honor to host the finals of the CHAN. You said you were not ready, and indeed, all other pointers revealed that we were not ready to even do the group stages. Just delve into this. What went wrong? And are we okay with the finals?
Well, I did mention here in one of our episodes that we were not moving at the pace, that was required, by CAF. But given that there had been a promise for this region from the CAF executive led by the president Motsepe, the eastern region or the SECAFA region had been given the mandate. The SECAFA region, member associations within SECAFA region had been given the mandate to host both CHAN and the forthcoming AFCON. But as I did mention, we should realize that the tournament does not belong to FKF or FUFA or TFF. The tournament belongs to CAF. But CAF gives the opportunity, the hosting rights to its member associations. Like now we have the Pamoja, the Pamoja bid, where Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and of course now Zanzibar, all right, are going to host this year's CHAN. The fact that we were not up to speed with the preparations is one of the reasons why two things happened. First, the opening ceremony, which is just around the corner, has been taken to Tanzania because Benjamin Mkapa, where the opening ceremony is going to take place, is already...
It's ready for this.
It's ready for this. Two, the fact that Group D, which initially had been designated to be played in Kenya, being taken to Zanzibar, points to the fact that we were not yet fully ready. The final inspection by CAF, did not give us 100% positive bill. That is why the Group D matches are now going to be held in Zanzibar at Amani Stadium. And I did mention here that the pointer, when CAF decided to host the finals of the 2024-2025 Confederations Cup final, pitting against Berkane and Simba at Amman Stadium, that should have, raised our antenna, because that was a testing moment whether that stadium or the facilities, the infrastructure in Zanzibar could host, the multitude that we saw thronging Zanzibar for that final match. So it is good also because at the end of it, CAF is going to collapse everything back to Nairobi. That difference of 30 days is going to give us a latitude also to ensure that whatever has not been brought up to speed could be spruced up,
So again, what it points out is that the Kenyan team will not enjoy the home advantage. Let's assume, and it's not our plan or our wish, that we fall off the way before the finals. Then the Kenyan team will not have a taste of CHAN in their own country.
Well, we will.
Because the opening is somewhere else, the finals are coming here. The group stages are also done somewhere else. Now, the only opportunity that Kenya should have had properly is to play the group stages here at home and have a feel of the CHAN, something that perhaps they may miss if they don't make it to the finals.
No, I don't think that the Kenyan team will miss out on
the home experience.
The home experience, because all their matches will be played in Nairobi. All their group, qualifying matches will be played in Nairobi. The distribution that CAF has come up with is that they have decided to give each and every one of the three countries at least something. Okay? The opening ceremony will be held in Tanzania. The closing ceremony will be held in Nairobi. And the third and fourth playoffs will be held in Uganda. But these other matches will all be played in Nairobi. Now, it is therefore a challenge to FKF to prepare the team adequately so that during the closing ceremony, we should have our own national team, Harambee Stars, being part of the finals. As it happened way back in 1987 when Kenya eventually, though they lost to Egypt by a solitary goal, but they lost during the finals, right? So it is incumbent upon Benny McCarthy and the entire technical team, technical bench of Harambee Stars and the technical committee of the Federation to ensure that, one, they get the correct players, and within the next 1 month, they ensure that they organize, well-coordinated preparatory activities, including possibly build-up matches, 2-3 high-level build-up matches, not against nondescript teams, who are way below us in the FIFA rankings. Like the other day, there's really nothing too much to gain from playing against, teams which are lowly behind us in the FIFA rankings. Because if I am not wrong, I don't think we really pick enough points, to enable us, move up the table when we beat, club teams that are below us. So it is a big challenge. Kenyans need to rally behind their team, but we must be given an opportunity or reason good enough to rally behind our team by the federation and the local organizing committee to ensure that there is seamless preparations and organizations moving towards the kickoff of CHAN come August 2nd.
First things first, do you therefore think that putting up a team as early as now is okay? Because right now we are off season. Most teams and players that are supposed to play in the CHAN will relax, and they will have to really work hard again to get into form. Do you think at this point it was important that now Benny McCarthy and the technical team should have begun some drills just to make the team remain in motion, to remain in form, and to continue the momentum of football play?
As I've mentioned earlier, the onus is on the federation because in as much as Benny would wish to have adequate preparations, it all depends on the federation, right? I have seen other countries who have also qualified to participate in this year's CHAN, having already, named their squads, and I believe they are already on the path to start adequate preparations. As at this moment that we are speaking, I don't think that Kenya has already named its final squad.
Not yet, actually, not yet. As we talk right now, we are yet to see a lineup, and yet to see at least the provisional squad.
I would have expected largely that the team that went to Morocco ought to have comprised of all local-based players, with a view to using them, unless for those who probably would have picked up injuries, as the core, as the backbone of the CHAN team. So with that in mind, there ought to be other inclusions. But we should stop this tendency of within 1 month, inviting over 50 players into the initial training camps. I mean, what do we need to? The scouting department, ought to have by now come up with a restrictive, provisional team that should get involved straight away in the local camp, and the technical committee at the federation ought to have arranged a series of build-up matches, because it will be foolhardy also to have the players train probably locally at Kasarani or whichever place that they would want to set up the camp, without finding out on some, technical aspects, of improving the team. We know our players. It is good that the league season ended 3-4 days ago. Now we should be on the road running to ensure that we assemble the team. We have the necessary, preparations, infrastructure, finance. Everything should be up and about as we speak.
That's all preparation that is required. And yes, they say the earlier the better. And right now, excuse me, right now we should be seeing something happening from the federation, from the team selections, every other thing that is happening right now. It's important that we get to know that. However, let's believe and hope that the federation is doing something about this, and that something will happen in the very near future in terms of the team's preparation. Now, before we wind down, Mozzart Cup finals are coming up on Sunday. It is Gor Mahia versus Nairobi United. They call them Nai Boys. And that's a team that really surprised very many guys. And right now, they've been welcomed to Kenya Premier League from the NSL. This is a team that really has done so well this season, and they are at the finals of Mozzart Cup against all other Premier League teams. Now it is only Gor Mahia standing on their way, and they would become champions for such an important cup that would send them again to represent us at the confederations. And who knows? Football is football. However, they are meeting mighty Kogalo, and this promises to be a very, very entertaining match. Remember, Gor Mahia lost out on the championships against Police FC, and I don't think Gor Mahia would want to let this one slip off their hands again. So it promises to be a very tantalizing match. And what's your take about this, Mr. Aduda? Because, yes, it's promising everything good about it, and I know it's going to be fireworks from the kickoff to the last whistle of this match. And I don't know if are you predicting a win or for whoever, or are you seeing this one going to the last end of it in terms of penalties?
Well, Nairobi United, I equally congratulate them for having had a stellar performance during their 2024-2025 National Super League season, for having qualified, to join the Kenya Premier League or FKF Premier League 2025-2026 season. I equally congratulate them for having come this far with regards to their performance at the Mozzart Cup series. The Sunday match is going to be very unpredictable. In my view, it is going to be very unpredictable in my view, because on one end, there is a team that has had more or less a fairy tale, a run towards everything else has been going good, well with them for the past season. That is Nairobi United. But it is equally a well-rounded team. Yeah, I've had an opportunity to watch a few of their matches, all right? So it is a team comprised of young boys who have the energy and who have the ambition to play football, coupled with the fact that they are equally being, managed by guys endowed with the necessary finances. So I believe that the motivation, yeah, aspect is not wanting at Nairobi United. And three, probably they would also want to emulate what Mathare United did way back in 1998, when Mathare, as a Super League team then, managed to win the Moi Golden Cup, an equivalent of the same tournament, but which then was referred to as the Moi Golden Cup, which enabled the team to represent the country at the CAF interclub competitions. On the other end, we also have Gor Mahia, who are more or less going into the match as wounded, lions, having lost out to Police in the just concluded Elite League. They would wish to use the opportunity during the final match to emerge victorious, so that they can have an opportunity to participate once again, this time round not in the Champions League, but at the Confederations Cup tournament of 2025-2026 season.
Well, your prediction of this, is it a 90 minutes game, or you see it going all the way to the extra time?
I believe that if Gor Mahia prepares well, what I mean by preparing well is that they need to ensure that they will not burn out within the first 45 minutes. If they do not burn out within the first 45 minutes, then it will be an interesting match. But if they burn out in the first 45 minutes, as has been the case in the past few matches, meaning that the fitness level of the players is wanting, then they could give a field day to the more energized Nairobi United players. Secondly, Gor Mahia should use what is in store for them, the experience amongst majority of their players who have perennially participated in the same tournament and emerged victorious. So at the end of the day, the team that will be able to be consistent should emerge victorious.
Well, the team that will be consistent will emerge victorious. Well put, well understood, and that is what it is. Yes, it has been a wrap-up of the Kenya Premier League. We've had to delve again into Mozzart Cup and our CHAN preparations as well. And the way we keep on saying that, well, in sports, everything and anything can happen. That is why sports is most important activity in our lives. And you can get it nowhere other than the sports arena here at LTN Sports. And I want to say thank you, Bona CEO, for having shown up. Once again, you've given us so much in terms of football. And yes, this is why we bring you on board, because of the wealth of experience and knowledge on these matters. Yes, till then, when we meet again, this has been LTN Sports Plus, and coming to you on your very favorite channel each and every time, each and every week. Please remember to always share, like, engage on our social media. Thank you very much. I've been your host, Nick Okello.